Hi, thanks for checking out my video. In this episode, I'm going to be looking at other people's work. I am not going to be doing anything other than sitting on my butt and bringing up some YouTube videos and talking about some of the other props that are out there, some of the things that I'd like to do, and how some of them work. This is going to be a short one, and I will be sure to give credit to everybody whose video I include in this one. So stick around, we're going to see some pretty cool stuff, and go over actually a prop controller that I'm going to be building as well, and that'll be at the very end. So here we go. This is one hell of a cool prop. This is something that I'm really interested in making. The animation is just fantastic. I have not seen another prop quite like this one, and he actually does go over how it's constructed, but it's really kind of difficult to see what's going on inside there. So here's a look at the inside of it. And I'm not even going to pretend to try and understand exactly how this works, but I do see a windshield wiper motor there, and an arm, looks like a slotted arm, and different sizes of PVC. I think he's talking about the the slotted arm right there. So it's really a cool effect, and I don't think it's all that difficult. It's just trying to get my head around how this part works up here to accomplish that animation. And it just looks like that smaller piece of PVC is fitted into a larger chunk of the frame there, and that is the smaller piece is connected to the bracket on the right, the elbow bracket, or the elbow joint, the 90-degree joint on the right. And that is what moves the shovel around, and I believe the other arm is just like a marionette arm. So that is definitely something I want to make this year. Here's another one that I've been wanting to do for years, but my family keeps talking me out of it, thinking that it's inappropriate, and I just don't understand why. But this is another wiper motor prop. It's a Hangman, and it's pretty darn cool. And no microcontrollers needed or anything like that. And this video has been updated since the last time I've looked at it. He's added a lot of annotations here explaining what's what, but it's a pretty smart design with these rods inside the PVC to prevent the hyperextension of the knee joints, which is what he just wrote on the screen. So pretty cool prop, and this is definitely something within my mechanical abilities to create. Just have to get my family on board with this, because they are against it. And we've got this Leering skeleton from Steve's Haunted Yard. Did a really nice job on it. Something else that I'm also interested in making, and I actually picked up a skeleton just for this purpose. So that is pretty impressive. That will, especially that that strange movement. It kind of goes. Sometimes it goes all the way around, sometimes it doesn't. It has to do with the mechanism that he's got in there, the levers, the control arms. You can see how it just stops randomly and then goes a different direction. And this is what I was talking about a second ago. You can see inside how he's done this with this section of PVC connected to this section of PVC, and there's his motor right there. And he's getting some really interesting movements when this thing spins. This sometimes will go all the way around. Well, obviously it'll go all the way around, but this pivot point causes the thing to sometimes turn completely or go the other direction. It's kind of neat. I wish he had shown it running at this point just to get a better idea of how that works, but alas, he did not. This is another variation on the Leering prop skeleton. This guy's got his on top of columns that he made, and he did his with a rotisserie motor, and it was actually very simple. He relied upon the motor's ability to reverse when it gets bound up, encounters too much resistance. So that was an easy way to do it. Unfortunately, you're not going to be able to do that with a motor that doesn't auto reverse, so windshield wiper motor is out of it for this design. We'll have a look at the inside here. So you can see underneath he's got this rotisserie motor and then a chain that is a stopping, or acting as a stop, and that is when the motor encounters resistance, it's going to reverse in the other direction. I don't know how long a motor would hold up against this constant, um, encountering this stop like that and being forced to auto reverse. But it works for him. I have had notoriously bad luck with rotisserie motors, so I just don't rely upon them for anything. They have never worked for me for anything ever. This was a pretty cool prop. This guy was able to get movement of the head and the arm using just one motor, which I thought was pretty impressive, and he did it with a reindeer motor as well. Not too difficult to make, and pretty good effect as well. I mean, I think anything that is animated, no matter just even a little, just adds that extra bit to your prop. I mean, to your haunt. Static props are great, but and nothing beats an animated prop in my book. And here it is, the back of this, and it's really rather simple how he did this. You can see the motor here, and then he's got a screw coming up here, and that's what's turning the head. Of course, we've got the lever arm here that runs in a circle, and that turns the head. And he also, with the screw, connects up to the arm, and that is what moves the arm. You've got, this connection here pivoting, this connection here pivoting, and as that turns around, this head goes back and forth from this, and the arm does the same, and they go in opposite directions, if you'll notice. So pretty ingenious. Nicely done. This particular gentleman made a female zombie. He's got a pretty good costume there, and it's a subtle movement. It looks nice though, especially the way the shoulders rock back and forth. And again, this is another windshield wiper prop motor, and you can see it's pretty simple how he's connected all of this. He's got this rod supporting this whole structure here. So this is the Weeping Widow by Raven Manor, and this thing is damn cool. Very impressive prop. Another one with a reindeer motor, and he's got, again, the similar type of armature there, excuse me, levers. God, I can't think of the word. To achieve that random effect. And this is just like the Leering prop that we saw. Same type of thing. It gives you this strange back and forth kind of movement, and it's not predictable. So you can see it here once he's got a cloak on the prop and it's at the bench. It's really a good effect. It looks like a person. So kudos on the creation of this one. And again, these are all cool things I would like to get into. I love the motorized props, and I just think they add a level of realism to the haunt. Here's a look at it from the front, and you can get the idea here of how the head, it doesn't always come all the way up. In this particular instance it did, but then it'll go down a little or go down all the way and then come up just a little bit. So here's a pretty easy one from Eerie Acres, and this is a nice subtle effect and something that is really easy to create, and just to add that little extra to the graveyard, I think that's pretty cool and pretty easy to do. Let's have a look at the back of it. So here's the back of it, and it looks like he's using a reindeer motor, and this is just, you can see how simple this is. Just a piece of 2x4, a couple of 2x4s, and connected to the motor, and then connected to the back of the tombstone. He's got a pivot point down at the bottom with this PVC down here. Pretty cool stuff. That's that one shouldn't be too difficult. So here's another one that's pretty cool, and this one looks pretty easy, like a zombie pit with some hands sticking out. He's got a pallet there and a couple of fake chains on top of some bricks. And this is how this guy put it together. He just took these cheapo arms that he got, zip tied them to the pallet, put the pallet on some bricks, and then threw some extra body parts around along with some fake blood. So nice job on that one. That should be a pretty easy and quick one to do if I do decide to do it. And if anybody has seen my channel before, this looks familiar. This is MrHalloweenFreak's groundbreaker, he called it, using a shiatsu motor. And this is where I got the idea for my shiatsu motor zombie, and I basically followed this plan with some modifications, actually heavily modified. But the core idea is the same thing. And I'm sure that this could be used with a looser clothing and a different mask. Could be used in this form, but it did not work for me in the way I was using it, especially with the mask that I had. The mask had these big latex shoulders on it, and that's not going to work. So, nonetheless, kudos to MrHalloweenFreak for coming up with this one. I had not seen this before, and this is what I was talking about in my video. I could not find these things, whatever the hell these are. They just look like some kind of pipe clamps, but I don't know how he's got them swiveling here, unless it's just like a washer and, you know, a loose connection there. I don't know. I just couldn't mimic it, so I ended up doing the same thing with PVC. But that's where I got the idea. Now this is something that just blew me away, because I'm starting to get into the Arduino thing. But this guy here has turned a wiper motor into a servo motor, essentially, with an H-bridge circuit. And he's got the Arduino controlling this, and he's written his code in such a way so that he gets full torque out of this motor. And it also has like a protection mechanism as well, so it'll shut off if it binds up on something. And I'm just thinking that this could replace pneumatics for jump scares. This is just and really much better control than something you're going to be able to get with a pneumatic. It's just very interesting. It's got a lot of torque, a lot of control, and I will link all of this stuff. But you can see how the control is pretty precise on this thing. He can put this wherever he wants, and just with a few lines of code. And he's already written all of it, so basically it's just building the circuit and applying this somewhere. Haunt possibilities are endless with this. Okay, and the last thing I'm going to cover is this 4-banger controller, homemade controller by, I think his name's Michael, and it's pretty neat. And I have ordered the parts to make this. I actually have a box of them sitting about 5 feet away from me, and I just haven't got off my rear end to make this thing. But he's got complete information here, and everything you need to know about building this is at buttonbanger.com. But essentially, you can make this this controller for 20 bucks with these components. He's got an MP3 player here. He's using the Arduino Nano, and I'm using the regular Uno. You can do it with either one. So the MP3 player, the Arduino, the 4 relay module, and a PIR sensor. And he's got all of the wiring. He's got an official package here to download that's got everything you need inside of it. He actually even wrote software for you to easily program this stuff. It's very impressive, and it's really not a hell of a lot of money for what you get. And essentially what you can do with this controller is it has an ambient soundtrack that runs, if you so choose. And then when the event is triggered with the PIR sensor, that's passive infrared sensor, if you don't know what that means. It's like the sensors on your security lights that switch on your security lights when you come home at night. Same type of thing. Once that's triggered, it switches over to an event. Instead of the ambient, you get an event, which then sets off these relays here. This is the relay, and you connect this to 110 volt. Essentially program when these things fire off. So you can have, let's say I had my shiatsu zombie connected to this, the groom, and then I had the bride connected to this one, and then I had the spit connected to this one. So you can accomplish some pretty neat things for 20 bucks. So he's got a complete shopping list here with everything that you'll need. So in addition to the parts list, he's got a complete wiring diagram here for both the Arduino Uno and the Nano, explaining exactly how to wire this up so that it works. All of this information is free. He is not charging for this, so you can't beat that. Also, there's software included that does all of this programming for you, so you don't have to know anything. You just have to click a few buttons and drag and drop stuff, and you've got a fully functional programmable prop controller, and with some very limited skills needed here. I mean, I don't even see any soldering going on here. We're just connecting pins. That is something that we're definitely going to be building, because I already have the parts, and there is no excuse not to make that. I waited months and months for that stuff to come in from China, and I finally got it, and now it's been sitting in a box for a couple of months. But I do have it all, and that's something that we're going to be doing. So with that, guys, I'm going to wrap up the vlog. I know it wasn't anything all that impressive, but I wanted to put something out there for you and just let you know what was going on in my head as far as where I'm going next with Halloween, and I think the answer is all over the place. Not really sure what I'm doing at this point, but this is one of them for sure, so we will get this knocked out. So if you haven't been to my channel before, I want to thank you for stopping by and checking out the video. Make sure you check out the last episode that I did, which is right here, and that one concerns the body of this zombie as well as an eyeball that I made. And you can also hit up the playlists over on my channel, and you can check out the entire vlog listed in order here. By subscribing, you'll get notifications of when I put out new videos, and that will also inspire me to continue putting out content better than this one. And these videos are much better than the one you're watching right now. So again, make sure you like and subscribe to my channel, and if you want to comment on this one, please keep it nice. I know I just kind of stole a lot of videos from everybody else, but I am going to give them credit, and you know, push you to check out those props for yourself. Anyway, I don't know what the hell I'm talking about, do I? Can't really show it on this, can I? That will be... dumb shit.